August 2014. 25-year-old Rory McIlroy was the shining star at sunset, as Jim Nantz poetically put it, winning the PGA Championship at Valhalla Golf Club. It was Rory's fourth major and put him ahead as the clear-cut world number one. The hypotheticals surrounding how Rory's career would finish were hard to not think of. Could he get more than 10 majors when it's all said and done? Could he pass Tiger? Hell, could he pass Jack? It's easy to roll your eyes at this now, but these were real dialogues people were having a decade ago. If you told a diehard golf fan then that Rory wouldn't win another major for at least a decade after that win at Valhalla, they'd probably not believe you. Or they'd probably think Rory went full Anthony Kim and vanished from the game itself. Nope, he's still here. In fact, he's still one of the best in the world. In the last year, Rory has won multiple events, including recently at Pebble Beach. He could still win, but why hasn't he been able to do it at the majors? Let's look at his closest calls since Valhalla. Rory really hasn't been that close in any other PGA championships since 2014, so let's start at Augusta. Even the casual golfer who maybe watches a few tournaments a year likely gets giddy for Augusta. There are always so many storylines behind that tournament, and for the past decade, one of the biggest storylines every year is Rory. Rory's won the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Open, but he hasn't won at Augusta. It's the one tournament between him and joining this short list of golfers who've completed the career Grand Slam. Here's Rory's history at Augusta since his last major victory. At face value, it's not bad, only one missed cut in 10 years. But it's when you consider how Rory has been one of the favorites in each of these years, you begin to realize the pressure that's mounted from it. Now let's ignore the placement for a second. These were the years Rory had the best chance of winning the green jacket after the first two rounds, 2016 and 2018. In 2016, after 36 holes, Rory was just one back of Jordan Spieth. He battled some tough conditions and found himself in contention. But Saturday, Rory failed to card a birdie and shot 77, falling out of the top 10 and ultimately being a non-factor on Sunday. Now, Rory was in the final group on Sunday in 2018 alongside eventual winner Patrick Reed. Rory charged up the leaderboard with a Saturday 65 and looked determined to get it done. But Rory missed an early chance to tie the lead and never got close after that. Struggling to get any putts to go, Rory shot 74 and finished tied for fifth. Now, Rory did finish solo second in 2022, but that came from a Sunday 64, and he truly never really had a chance with Scheffler running away from the field. Some of Rory's Open Championship performance since 2014 have had him close, but none like the 2022 Open. It was Rory's first crack at the old course at St. Andrews. In 2015, Rory injured himself playing soccer with his buddies, and he wasn't able to play at St. Andrews. Everyone knew what this course meant, not only to golf, but to Rory. 2022's Open felt like it was a stars aligning moment for Rory. It was the 150th Open at the home of golf, and for 3 days, everything was going right for Rory. Putts were dropping, and so were bunker shots. Rory had a tie for the lead heading into the final round alongside Viktor Hovland. And after 10 holes, Rory was ahead of Hovland and Cameron Smith by 3 shots. He hadn't done much, but it just felt like a few more birdies would do it for Rory. But he couldn't get a putt to drop on any green. He two-putted all 18 holes, and because he couldn't make any birdies, his lead shrunk and shrunk until it was gone. And suddenly he was behind, and eventually he lost. It was a bit jarring. Rory's swing didn't fail him. He just couldn't make a putt. And at the end of the day, he left St. Andrews disappointed and again without a trophy. Rory struggled in the U.S. Open between 2015 and 2019, but since has never finished outside the top 10. The last 2 years has sort of been what started this dialogue, though, behind Rory. In 2023, Rory was just one back heading into the final round. An opening hole birdie tied the lead, but that was his only birdie of the day. He would bogey the 14th hole and shoot even par for the round. He finished one shot behind the winner, Wyndham Clark, and left some heads scratching. Only one birdie on a course that was set up for more, It felt like it was Rory's to get, because it was, but he didn't, and it left a bad taste in the mouth of golf fans around the world. But it didn't compare to the following year's U.S. Open at Pinehurst No. 2. Rory started 3 back of Bryson DeChambeau to start the final round, but after a rocky start by Bryson, Rory gained control of the lead on the back 9, up 1 with only 3 holes left. He was so close, but then he simply choked. He missed 2 putts within 3 feet, the last of which costing him a shot, and it mattered as Bryson would par the 18th hole to finish just 1 shot ahead of Rory. And this image of Rory watching Bryson's final hole summed it up perfectly. He was devastated, and understandably so. The entire golf world just watched him collapse under the pressure of winning his first major in a decade. And being honest, this was sort of the moment for me where it hit that Rory might not win another. I know he's won 4 majors already, but it almost feels like the moment is too big for him. While history can be telling for what's to come, it is just that. It's history. And I think golfers, better than most people, can put the past behind and focus on the future. And personally, I'm a massive Rory fan, so I felt the heartache of all these past performances. But it's hard not to remain optimistic, especially looking at 2025. Like I mentioned, Rory went out to Pebble to pick up his first victory in his first start of the season, and he did it from behind after 36 holes, at a course that many didn't really think was a great fit for him. It's now his 27th career win on tour, and it's a win that likely gives him a lot of momentum heading into the season. And when you're looking at the majors, it's hard not to get excited. The U.S. Open is the only one I really don't see him playing well at. Oakmont isn't necessarily a Rory course to me. While the Masters has been full of disappointment for the most part, there's also been some glimmers of hope over the past few years from Rory. We know it's a course fit. It just feels like if he can put the past behind him, it could happen. The Open Championship is at Royal Portrush, and while Rory missed the cut there in 2019, it's a course he'll be itching to play well in his home country. And I mentioned that the PGA Championship hasn't particularly produced a lot of close calls for Rory, but this year, it's a course he's won at 4 times, including last year. Quail Hollow is likely circled on Rory's calendar, and clearly it's a place he can potentially secure another major if he just simply performs. What's really promising is also how well Rory has been putting since the end of 2024. Ever since an abysmal performance at the FedEx St. Jude Championship on the greens, Rory's putter has been solid, and it's saved him even when other parts of his game aren't great. If Rory's tee to green game stays the way it is, he's going to be contending again at some point this season, and hopefully it's in a major. What do you think, though? Is it too soon to give up on Rory winning another major, or is it not soon enough? If you want my opinion, I think he'll win another. In fact, I think it'll be this year. Maybe I'm falling into the same trap I do every year, and if so, I guess I'm a sucker. But it's hard not to with a guy like Rory.